Every SEO agency's dream is to have a digital PR department. Everyone. I registered the company in 2014, but I still had a full-time job. I was painting cars until 2017.
6 years grinding and hustling alone.
Crying sometimes, having tears, like this is never going to happen.
This year you are on track to reach 10 million.
It wasn't always like this. We were growing super fast. We hired lots of people, and then it started becoming very toxic. The problem was with us, not with them. They came into an environment that didn't have any structure.
You sponsored a lot of conferences and you're doing those like funny videos. Is this just something you like doing and this is why you do it?
We have a form on the website saying, how do you find us? And one of the most common phrases is everywhere. That's
everywhere.
Everywhere.
I love it. What works for you in terms of attracting clients?
I think the most important thing in attracting clients is
Ahrefs Podcast.
When we were doing some research, it seems that you have background as a developer.
Yes.
Tell me a little more about that. Were you a freelancer? Did you have a full-time job? What kind of background do you have?
So I started playing with XML code, which is not really like a coding. It's playing around with the design of like Blogspot. My passion was always technology, so I'm always interested of doing something in one place and then seeing something happening in the other place. And that's why I was so passionate about coding. My full-time job was painting cars, but in the nighttime, I was going home. Not even home. I didn't even have a laptop there. I went to the internet cafe in the town center. I spent the nights there. Coding, learning, CSS back then. That's why I started like, what do you mean you modify these variables in the CSS code and it changes the color? It's magic.
What was the motivation? Why did you do it?
I always loved technology. So from a childhood, I was a tech geek. I think I escaped in technology because I didn't have lots of toys or video games like other kids. And I escaped in going and picking up scrap from like scrap radios from the scrapyard, taking them apart and making sirens with 2 transistors, 3 capacitors and 2 resistors. I could make a siren, and that was my fun back then. So I kind of evolved into coding from electronics.
But what were you trying to achieve with that coding? So XML, Blogspot, yada, yada, yada. But did you want to create a website for yourself?
No.
Did you want to get to a certain level to be able to get clients to do this? Like, what was the goal?
At that time, I had no clue that clients would actually pay me to do such things. So, and I didn't even want that. I just wanted to have fun, like other kids play, like with the football or play with like the cars. Back then, I was a teenager, so instead of going and playing football, that was my game. That was my play. That's how I was playing. I needed something, and I think the biggest satisfaction for me was the sense of evolution. So I felt like I've evolved as a person, as a knowledge. Every day when I've done something, I've learned, oh, this is how you change the background color of a div. Oh, this is how you change the width of a div. This is how you add an extra div and make the borders rounded or whatever.
Were you just doing this kind of like on a staging environment, or did you work on your own website or something?
So initially I've done it just on Blogspot. So in Blogspot, you could have, I think probably even now you could have a theme editor and you could edit the CSS separately and the XML, and that's where I was doing it. There wasn't even a possibility to upload JavaScript files there. I didn't know how hosting worked, so I didn't have any hosting of my own websites back then, right at the beginning. So what I've done is I actually went, I think on Google you could host files, and I hosted JavaScript files on Google, and I embedded them via script tag into the XML of the website, and that's how I actually added JavaScript, because I didn't have any hosting there.
What would you consider your first steps in the SEO industry? At which point you kind of understood, okay, this is something I want to be doing. This is a business or industry where I can make money.
2013, 2014, when I just said, let's see how this works. I posted, I think it was, I'm not sure, Odesk. It was Odesk before.
Odesk.
Yeah, so I posted there like something I can help with JavaScript, or I can help with coding or like design on the website. And somebody's seen that and wrote on Facebook, like messaged me on Facebook. It was a lady from London, and she said, "Hey, I got a WordPress, a WooCommerce store for flower cards, and I'm willing to pay you if you can help me, sell more on Google." And I was like, it doesn't make sense. Where did this come from? Like, what do you mean you want to pay me out of nowhere? So she's seen me there. She's found me on Facebook and messaged me there. I think I said like £30 a month or £30 a week, something like that. And she said, okay, send me the bank details. She paid me like £30. Somebody paid me £30 a week just to, do. She doesn't even know me. And then she referred me to a friend after a few months. It was Coral Turner. She was like a couture, kind of a little boutique clothing designer in London, but very small, like very, just manual bespoke clothing. And she also started paying me. Like, this is crazy. I'm going to make a business out of it. So then I signed up to People Per Hour. Mm-hmm. And I started selling SEO audits for £30 an audit. and I had a system where I could do 3 audits per day.
Where did you learn how to do SEO audits?
Well, I've learned from these websites, the flower card, freshasadaisyflowercard.co.uk and coralturner.com. I started analyzing lots of their competitors, lots of even the bigger ones now. I had Ahrefs back then already, like I had Ahrefs and some of the tools. And I started doing like research or like, why are those people ranking better? Back then, the blogger outreach was a big thing. Everyone, like Interflora, everyone was doing, mommy bloggers. And I found, patterns like, people like these companies do lots of guest blogs and they rank better. And I started, analyzing patterns like the structure of the website and titles and everything that they were using. And that's how I kind of started learning more, but also on my own website. So I had my own websites before. One of the most popular Romanian bloggers' website, I cloned it with a blogspot and I ranked above him. I'm not going to say his name because back then I wrote like some very sarcastic, but very like a satire out of his blog. And I've learned from my own website, but also from these two websites, Coral Turner and Fresh as a Daisy Cards. I think they kind of propelled me into the SEO world because they put their faith in me with the £30 a week to actually start doing SEO.
Where did you learn how to do SEO? You couldn't just do it all by yourself because you probably searched in Google, like how do I get this?
I read everything about SEO. I think YouTube SEO was not as big back then. It was mostly blog articles about SEO, and I've learned by just reading about SEO all day from everyone, from everywhere. But not just reading, but also actually diving in and doing the research whilst I was reading, testing out the things that I was reading. Is that true? So it's not just like, I'm going to believe that and that's how SEO works. Like, have the information, but then use it on my own websites, test out things and theories with our clients' websites as well. And then I think in 2015, I started, that project propelled me, like my knowledge, like really high. So first of all, I started a vapecompare.co.uk. So I started building with PHP. There's a library called Simple HTML DOM. I think even today it exists. I started building a web scraper where I scraped prices of e-liquids or e-cigarettes of all the products, and I put them in a database and I showed a real price drops of those products based on yesterday's price. My system revisited products every day, and it showed if the price really dropped. It's not like, 30% discount against the RRP, and the RRP was never a real thing on how many price drops work. So I was actually detecting the real prices, and then I said, why just limit myself to just e-liquids or like to vape when I can just use the same system to scrape more products? So I registered everydaysblackfriday.co.uk. Even now, I own the domain even now, and I've deployed that software to the whole domain. I've started adding, Argos, started adding ASOS, all the big retailers in the UK, I started adding them there. And now I had a database of 2 million products that was scraped every day by my system. And what I've done is I've created categories, of course, like, shoes and dresses and wedding dresses and red dresses and everything that was a product, baby, like feeding bottles and categorized. So I created categories on the website. I started ranking high. Even for brands, I could say ASOS discounts. My page for ASOS started ranking page one. It wasn't number one, I think, for ASOS, but I think I was like top 5, 6, and I got lots of traffic from there. But what I've also done is I programmatically created pages for every product that existed in my database for 2 million products. And I've used content spinning and SEMrush. I think I was using SEMrush data back then for the keywords. So I exported SEMrush data and I compared it against my database. And based on the table from the data from those keywords, I started creating spun content, spun articles, almost like articles for every product, and those products started ranking high. And the website went like crazy. It really went up. So that's where I really went into programmatic SEO, like to the next level. So I've used data to create pages that were unique. And my page said, this red shoe from ASOS, because it knew the retailer from ASOS, have been dropped by £3 in the past 24 hours. And the previous price was this, but today's price is this. I hope you'll enjoy this discount or something like that. It was all programmatically generated. Also, I categorized, so I added other products like this, and those were categorized in the pages. Like really, it worked really well. But it started to like break after a while. After 2 million products, I was not a super experienced software developer, so it started to become slow. But that was the project that really propelled me to into the big game SEO.
There's Fery in the early days, getting like paid £30 or something to work on the website of some random lady that messaged you on Facebook. And there's Fery today, the founder and owner of Search Intelligence agency, that, as far as I'm concerned, is on track to do 10 million Great Britain pounds this year. So I wonder at which point, like between those two points in time, you had this idea, okay, so I'm doing this as a freelancer for cheap, but I think this can be a business. I can scale it. I can hire people, because right now you have like 90 people. So do you remember when you had, I don't know, the passion, the motivation, the idea to start an agency and scale it and hire people and do it kind of full time?
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly that time. It was after the pandemic hit, after the shutdown happened. Because previously I was just doing coding and I wasn't really making money. I wasn't into sales or selling or productizing a service or building a team. Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, you don't want to build a team because you'll have so much headache and it's so hard. Don't do that." And I kind of believed that mindset, and I got into that mindset, and I didn't build a team because team members are problematic and we can have so many problems. But then after pandemic, I said, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. We are starting from scratch. Let's start building an agency. In order to build an agency, people need to know about me. So I started posting on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn actually brought us all the inquiries that allowed us to grow, because you cannot build an agency if you have no clients. So I just started sharing my knowledge on LinkedIn, and people started coming in, requesting our service. And I was blown away. No way, you don't have to sell. People come to you because they see what you can do and they want the same help. This is magic. And then that's where I started growing. When everyone was going crazy, I said, let's use this as an opportunity to test out a new theory. What if having a team is actually good?
So you started doing this alone from that message from a lady on Facebook somewhere around 2013?
2004, I think it was 2014.
2014?
Yes, something like that.
And then pandemic hit in around 2020.
Yeah.
So for 6 years, you were just a freelancer. You were doing it alone.
I registered the company in 2014 in December, but I still had a full-time job. I was painting cars until 2017.
Okay.
So in 2017, I rented this office here, the little office that I showed you. And that's where I started. But I was just getting by. I wasn't a good business person. I wasn't a good marketer.
You didn't have employees?
I didn't have employees. I had one person, William. William, shout out if you see this, because you might see this. And he was coming in part-time. He was great. He was coming in part-time and he helped with development. So I was, building WordPress themes back then, but very cheap, £2,000 for a WordPress theme, or £3,000, very, very cheap. And it took me three weeks to do it. And then at the end of the month, the expenses were more than the actual revenue. So I was just figuring it out. Yeah, and I kept on building my own websites, kept on learning until I got the confidence to actually start posting on LinkedIn.
Wow. So 6 years kind of grinding and hustling alone.
Crying sometimes, having tears, this is never going to happen. My wife was like, "Oh, maybe you should, maybe do you think of quitting?" and going and finding a job, and like, no, just give me some more time. We'll figure it out. It'll be good. And then she kept on, believing in me as well. After it was hard 6 years.
This is such a great story, because a lot of people think that I'll start an agency, I'll become successful, I'll hire people, and it would happen in the span of a year or two.
Yeah,
but you were grinding for 6 years until you decided, okay, I'm ready to make it an actual business, hire people, be responsible for these people.
Yeah.
When you decided to hire people and turn it into a business, did you see the opportunity specifically in digital PR, or did it come later? You just started posting on LinkedIn and you thought, I think I'm getting more clients. I need more people to support the workload. I want to hire more people. I want to turn it into a business. And then after a while, you found the niche of digital PR. Or did you stumbled upon the niche of digital PR and thought that, okay, this is the thing I want to scale. This is the thing I want to turn into a business?
Digital PR came a bit later. So I started getting, inquiries, and I was a, black hat kind of SEO as well, not like the aggressive black hat, but I was building forum links before. I was building guest post links, even in my everyday's Black Friday days. Everything that online retailers were doing, which is reaching out to guest mummy bloggers and saying, "Oh, we're gonna pay you £40 to post this article on your website." I was replicating that. So that was my strategy when these clients started coming in 2020. I said, yeah, we're going to create content. We'll build links. We'll pay the bloggers. We'll have the list of bloggers that we kind of reach out to. We already have their payment details. And that's how we started. But then we've seen some other agencies coming up and building these even greater links. And I was like, my God, if we could build these links, we would like dominate. If we could actually build these great links, I said, we have to figure this out. So we already had like a few clients paying us for guest blogs and content creation, technical SEO. Technical SEO was a big one because I was already even better now at software back in 2020 by learning so much, building my own websites throughout the years. So I think I was really good at technical SEO with speed optimization and programmatically creating pages. I know we had a boiler company who we scraped one of the competitors, and we created pages with the data of the boilers on their pages programmatically, and they started ranking for like boiler product pages. It was a boiler installation, so they were not selling boilers, but they were like boiler installations. So I already was already providing technical SEO, guest blogs, and content. But then I said, if we can add digital PR to this service offering, it would be insane. And I think even today, many SEO agencies are like this. If we could figure this out, because I know especially now in 2024, every SEO agency's dream is to have a digital PR department, everyone. And we were the same back then. Like, what if we can have a digital PR department? And we started growing from that point onwards when we see 2021, I think, when we said, we'll figure this out.
So, like I said, this year you are on track to reach 10 million British pounds.
It will have to be a very hard push.
Still, even if it's like 8 or 7, this is a
probably
significant...
Seven is yeah.
Still, it's a significant amount of revenue for an agency to get in a year. So a lot of people who have much smaller agencies, they're probably wondering, how do I get to this level? So if I ask you, what are the top reasons you were able to get this far, and like you're still growing, right? The actual trend is going forward. You're not going to stop at 7.
We have problems of actually hiring enough people to serve the clients. So growing is like growing a revenue is not a problem. So yes, we are still pushing.
So what are the keys to success? How are you able to grow your revenue this much? What works for you?
There's many answers to this question depending on what you mean by what are the keys to success. What are the keys to success to selling, or what are the keys to scaling, or to everything?
Let's start from attracting that many clients. How many? I think somewhere you mentioned you have 300 clients.
Yeah, we have like 300 active clients, yeah.
And basically to grow revenue, you need to keep, you have to have a nice kind of pipeline of clients. Yeah. So what works for you in terms of attracting clients?
I think the most important thing in attracting clients is, everyone would say like, oh, marketing, but marketing has no power if the product is bad or if the service is bad. It's just burn money. So I would say, first of all, figure out a product. So you need to have a very, very good offering that you can actually differentiate yourself. So what we've done is we started offering, and there were some other agencies, like a few agencies offering this, but we started aggressively offering guaranteed links with digital PR. Everyone knows there's no such thing as, I'm going to guarantee a link with digital PR, but you can actually guarantee links if instead of just doing one story and saying we'll run one story and then whatever happens, you say we'll run as many stories as we have to, free of charge, until we deliver on the links. And that's where we, even like some old school kind of digital PRs are like, oh yeah, if you guarantee links, you're buying links. Like, no, if you guarantee links, then you can guarantee for 10 links or whatever number with any campaign. If you're willing to execute as many stories, as many angles, free of charge, until you deliver the links, then the client did not have any risk. Yeah. So when the clients, sometimes clients come into a Zoom meeting with me, say, "Oh, Fery, I know you cannot guarantee links." So we actually do guarantee links because we will not stop. We will launch another idea, and we'll launch 100 ideas. Your $5,500 will never be lost because we will always deliver on the 10 links. So first, having a good product, and then go in with marketing. So have a solid product that provides value to the clients and that provides no risk to the client, and then start with marketing. So marketing is everything for a business.
Guarantee links is definitely a huge selling point. I would imagine that makes it super easy to persuade people to go with you because there's very little risk. And I'm wondering if you're seeing any, because you've talked about this guarantee quite a few times already.
Yes.
I wonder if you see any agencies starting to copy you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, there's many. Yeah.
So you're no longer the only one who says,
oh yeah, no.
We
there
guarantee
are many now,
that the links will come.
Yeah, many start guaranteeing links now, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So the deliverable that your clients want from you is links, and they look kind of at the quality and quantity, of course,
yes.
right? Because they don't want links from some lousy, PBNs or whatever.
Yeah.
They want links to come from legit websites. And this is why this is digital PR.
Yes.
So they want
Earned
legit
links.
websites that have like journalists writing for them, that have meaningful stories, where you visit a website and you understand that this website is made for people, not for search engines.
Indeed.
This is why it's digital PR and not like a PBN or anything like that. But still, your clients, they are looking for the kind of number and quality of links, not so much seeing how this affects their search traffic. Or like, does it happen, for example, the client stays with you, let's say for 6 months, they keep buying campaigns from you, and you build, 50, 60, 70 links for them, and they say, Fery, you're great at delivering links, but I'm not seeing that it would influence the search traffic of my website.
Yeah, there probably are clients like that, and I'm always saying, like, before they join, I'm never selling to a client. I'm never saying, if you will run 20 campaigns with us for 1 year, you will explode in rankings. I always say, don't expect our links to do miracles, because not just our links that are part of the SEO ecosystem of your website. You also have to have, first of all, again, a good product or a good service or a good page. You also have to have technical SEO in place. You also have to have everything else in place. So don't just buy this service from us and do nothing else and expect miracles to happen. And I literally say this, I've got the meetings recorded. In every meeting, this is how I start. First of all, don't expect miracles from us. Is that okay? If yes, then we can continue the discussion. And if they say, well, no, I'm expecting to buy a campaign and hopefully it will explode our rankings, like, the service is not for you then.
Mm-hmm. The two issues that I see with links made with digital PR. First, oftentimes it is hard to get them to a specific page. And when I say this, I'm comparing this to like PBN or those just paying for links. When you say, can you link to my money page or something? with digital PR, it is more often that you would link to the homepage. It's like this company like did this, blah, 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 and you're linking to the homepage. So first, it's harder to get links to a specific pages. And if you want specific pages to rank, links should be pointing directly at them and not to the homepage, even though like the homepage is still useful because of interlinking, blah, blah, but we're not going into it. And second is the relevance factor. Because again, as every SEO knows, if you want your page to rank high in Google, you don't just need any links, you need links from relevant pages. And with digital PR, what I see usually companies do is they do like different data studies, etc., and they mention the brand behind this data study. So this company did a survey, or like this company studied this. This is why I'm asking, if most links are going to homepage and if the relevance is not kind of ideal, how much these links move the needle?
Good question. So first of all, there is a way to get the links to the inner pages. So we had, I'm not going to say the name, but everyone knows them. We had a client, they bought many dozens of campaigns from us, and they had 4 pages with us. One about car insurance, one about travel insurance, one about moving companies in America, and I think the other one was, I would have to dive into the system. I know they had 4 pages with us, and we managed to get probably about 85% of the links went to the actual inner pages. So for the best car insurance page, we've done stories about car accidents or driving, or the most dangerous times to drive in every city in America, for example. And that's how, when we said the experts from and then company name, analyze government data to find the most dangerous times to drive. And that link went to their car insurance page, because we put in the email, we put the link, instead of putting it to the homepage or to like a hub page, we put it to the inner page car insurance. I'm going to show you this after the podcast. And we managed to get like 85% of the links actually were left alone by the journalist, because they just copied the paragraph where it said experts from this company reveal whatever, and then they just leave the link alone in there.
I probably know the answer to this question, but I will still ask it. Your own website, searchintelligence, I think .co.uk, right?
Yeah.
Your own search traffic is quite low.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of powerful links even to your homepage.
Yeah.
I think one of the most powerful links is actually from Ahrefs.
Probably, yeah.
DR91.
Yeah, no, the digital PR article,
Yeah, we have an article and we're referencing some case study that you did or something.
That's cool.
I think I know the answer to the question, but I still want to hear it from you. Why do you not kind of eat your own dog food and not use SEO and kind of digital PR link building services for your own website?
Because the effort invested, and we should probably do this, and we will probably do this. Things are so hectic at the company that I always have to weigh up the effort and time spent and the best ROI for it, which sometimes I might not have, good. For example, going to conferences, it's like massive effort, very expensive, but the ROI is not good. So maybe we should invest that conference money when we go to attend the conference. We should probably invest it into SEO and that time. I'm just kind of ignoring it because I don't see a very big ROI from search for digital PR. For us, the best ROI is when we show a case study online, or when we make a parody video where we present our digital PR case study throughout the video. People love to watch it and we become like front of mind. So that's where our best, ROI is. But as a challenge, I would like to take on the challenge to actually rank for, I'm not saying it because like whatever, I think we are probably the largest digital PR agency in the world in terms of team size, but also in terms of, emails sent, in terms of campaigns that we run every month. And we run like hundreds of campaigns simultaneously every month, like hundreds of campaigns. And we deliver from 100 to 120 campaigns that actually hit the KPIs every month. So we should be ranking on page 1 because we are the largest agency, and we are, in terms of like single service digital PR agency, I think we are the largest ones. So I think we would deserve to rank on page 1. But thanks for bringing this up and like slapping me in the face. Hey, Fery, what are you doing there? But I will take this on as a challenge.
No, like I said, I think I know the answer to the question. And the answer to the question is that you have tons of clients already. So you don't really need to develop search as another customer acquisition channel because of your existing channels are working so well, you're posting on LinkedIn, even going to conferences, and the way, for example, I discovered you, apart from you kind of getting into the SEO community and hanging out like with other SEOs, doing podcasts with them, you've done a ton of sponsorships. So you sponsored a lot of podcasts, you sponsored a lot of conferences, and you're doing those like funny videos. So you do stand out. Yeah, it wasn't like a slap in the face. I just wanted to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
But let's quickly talk about the sponsorships. I wonder if there's kind of an overarching strategy behind it. If you are allocating like specific budget, like, okay, we want to spend 30K per month on sponsorship until the end of the year or something like that. And if you are tracking ROI somehow, like tell me about all those sponsorships that you're doing.
A proper business person, if they will hear my answer, they will run after me. There's no budget for marketing in our world.
I love it.
Marketing has no budget or has no limits to the budget. 30K a month is a baby budget. We spend a lot
On sponsorships?
Yeah.
You cannot say how much?
Probably over 100K per month.
100K.
We literally invest all the profits back into
Wow.
into marketing. No, into sponsorships. And sometimes it's got zero ROI.
How do you know it has zero ROI? What makes you say
Maybe
so?
Sometimes for a month or like for 2 months we don't hear people saying, "Oh, we discovered you there in that channel."
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's got zero ROI. I know ROI. It doesn't like it should not be really used in marketing that's oriented about building a brand. There's no such thing as, I post a video and I've spent 15 grand on this video and then the ROI is like 2 grand because it brought back 17 grand.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. You cannot quantify that 1,000 people are thinking of you at all times for 2 years or for like a year because they remember one of your videos. That cannot be measured.
So a couple of things here. First of all, before answering this question, you said that a lot of like business people wouldn't like your answer because it seems kind of, I don't know, silly, dumb, or non-professional to kind of not have a strategy, not kind of be so like calculated and stuff. To be honest, I think that most people don't have the strategy. Most people are unable to calculate. It's just everyone else thinks that everyone else is kind of smarter than them, and you're just kind of dabbling, trying to figure it out. But actually, everyone is in the same situation. People are just afraid to admit
really?
and be upfront and say, I don't know like how exactly it works. I'm just like putting money. I'm seeing some benefit out of it, so I keep doing it. And at Ahrefs, we or I, doesn't matter, we're never kind of afraid to admit, we don't have like proper marketing analytics. We don't know how many, leads we get. We don't know what's our conversion
I've seen that
rate.
post of yours. I loved it. Oh my God. I fell in love with you when I seen that. Yes, not just me.
Yeah, we do stuff. We see that the growth trajectory is going up. We keep doing stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to continue putting 100K into sponsorships, you have to have some signs that it is working. So what are these signs?
The sign is when we get the email and we have a form on the website saying, how do you find us? And one of the most common phrases is everywhere. That's
everywhere.
Everywhere.
I love it.
Where do you discover it's everywhere, and then a laugh emoji.
This is amazing.
That's kind of a sign that it kind of works.
I even have a little goosebumps at this point.
I'll show you on the emails. So many coming like everywhere.
I think the cool thing about the word everywhere that people might not understand and might be missing out on is that if you do like 1, 2, 3 sponsorships and wait, okay, is this going to result in anything? It might not. So you will stop doing it and you will think, okay, this channel doesn't work.
Yeah.
But if you go all in, invest a lot of money, appear everywhere, then suddenly you're everywhere. And if you think logically, okay, I can like test this with this podcast. Let's see if it would work. Like I will sponsor this podcast and see any influx of leads. No, it doesn't happen. But again, if you think about a person listening to a podcast, hearing your sponsorship once, okay, maybe it didn't register with them, but then they go to another podcast.
Yes.
It's you again.
It's there.
They're going to the conference and you're showing your videos there. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And this is exactly how I
Yeah.
kind of felt. I saw you here, I saw you there, I saw like your video going viral on Facebook. And I was like, I want to talk to this guy. He seems interesting. He seems to know what he's doing. So I think that it is one of the problems of marketing. People think that you can do something, measure it, and then decide if it
Yes.
works or not. And a lot of times you have to go all in on the channel and trust that it is going to work because I see this in my head, how people are going to interact with those things.
Yeah. Don't measure everything in marketing because it's like, I think it's, as you said, it doesn't make sense to measure everything because it's not a quantifiable, like many things, like probably 80% of things in marketing are not quantifiable, like front of mind. How can you measure front of mind of 1,000 people? Like you said, when they see you everywhere, and even when I said, there's no mentioning of these people, or like when they submit the form, the first trigger when they've seen me on, let's say, sponsorship A, that triggered something in their mind, but then the decision was made when they've seen sponsorship, M, like the 10th sponsorship. But it doesn't mean that the first one was not effective. It means they just remembered the last one, but the trigger in the subconscious was from the first one.
I love the word everywhere. And I'm going to do 2 plugs, but we're recording Ahrefs podcast, so I can do as many plugs as I want. First of all, like I told you, I'm writing a book about marketing.
My God, yes.
And this story and the word everywhere is probably is going to be maybe the title of a chapter.
Good.
Like be everywhere or
Yes.
something like that, and like the idea behind it, which we just discussed.
Very good.
So this is the first thing, and the other thing, we're now organizing the conference Ahrefs Evolve, which will happen end of October. Hopefully this podcast episode will go out before it, so people will listen to it and get some tickets. And what I realized is that we seem to have a very large audience of customers. I think it's more than 50 or maybe 60,000. I don't even remember because like those numbers are not that important. But the thing is, we have like huge email list. We have huge reach on our website. Our website is getting millions of views, so we posted banners there. And I'm seeing that it's not enough to kind of announce your event once.
No.
People will hear about it. Okay, Ahrefs is doing events. You have to continuously keep pushing different messages about the conference. And like you said, be everywhere. So people, when they log into LinkedIn, they see a post about the conference. They go to Twitter, they see a post about the conference. They listen to a podcast, the conference again, and they're like, oh my God.
I got to go there.
I got to go there. It's everywhere. I love this word. Thank you for bringing it up.
Nice.
You got yourself a mention in the book, I feel.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you.
Back to your agency, Search Intelligence. You're doing quite well, as we discussed. I wonder, what do you think is your main competitive advantage? The thing that you do better than anyone else? And I will kind of give you a couple options to choose from, but you can come up with your own option. So first of all, when we just connected with you, you showed me your software, which you said alien-like software. And a few other people who you connected with also mentioned, Fery showed me
really?
his alien software.
Oh, wow,
so
really?
that word alien is really sticking with people.
Ooh.
So the software is impressive, yeah. Then there's you, the CEO and founder, and typically founder means a lot for the success of the company. So put the wrong person in charge. This is like for public companies where they have an option to choose who is leading the company, and the company might die. And then you have 2 more things. You have the processes. How good are your processes? How efficient they are? How well you're doing things? And finally, people. Because you can have the best processes in the world, but if you hire the wrong people, or the other way around, great people, even with bad processes, they can kind of...
Yeah.
You disagree with me. So what is the competitive advantage of your agency? How do you feel?
The biggest competitive advantage of the agency is definitely like by a mile. We got very lucky in 2021, 2022 to find the right leadership, to find the right people. I'm just, apart from the selling, without the team, I would be like nowhere. It's almost like the yin and yang. Sometimes I want to do some crazy things and they are there to stop me to do it. And and just the leadership that there is on the team and the executives and everyone. Without the team is nothing. You can have the best marketing, you can have the best software, but if you have the wrong team, if you add the wrong team to the software, the wrong team to the processes, it's never going to happen. I even say we had some people who, we changed their lives, but they also changed everyone's lives at the company when they joined. They changed my life as a founder, but then they changed everyone's life. Everyone's salary is supported by the people who care more about the company, probably sometimes than even I do, and that's the most important thing.
It is very awesome and humble to give credit to your team.
I got goosebumps.
But I also want to be realistic here and do a thought experiment. Let's say tomorrow you're saying, I'm tired of this. I need to recharge. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to take 1 year sabbatical. If you're saying that the team and the people are so great and your role in the company is not that important, do you think?
Oh, no, I didn't say it's not that important. I think everything completes each other. Like I would be, me and the software and everything would be nothing without the team. But then everything else supports the team as well. But yes, let's hear the hypothetical.
Now that I'm asking this question, I'm probably realizing it is a bad question to ask in the first place, because if I ask you, you will give credit to team. If I ask your team, they will give credit to you.
I cannot take full credit because yes, I am the face of the company. I can sell, I can build relationships, and I can manage some things. But we had some really key people at the company who joined. It would be very hard to run the company if we did not have that, and it would have been very hard to scale if we did not have those people.
Okay, how about this? I mentioned processes, like one of the options that determine the success of a company. Among the processes that you have today in your company, how many of them were created by you and how many of them were created by your team?
80% by the team.
80% by the team. Okay, that is awesome. That is awesome. You cannot do everything alone, no matter how great you are. You need great people beside you, and you need people who are much better than you in every specific area that you need them to work on.
I'm good at building relationships. But maybe I'm good at motivating the team as well. I'm good at really getting the fire, and just whenever there's problems, making them believe that hey, we can overcome these problems. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Like we had a month when we had we paid the wages. I think it was like 2 years ago. We paid the wages and we had £2,000 left in the bank account. And Michelle was like, "Oh my God, Fery, what are we going to do this month?" Because like, Michelle, don't worry, it's going to be fine. It'll be fine. And it was fine. And because they had that, if Fery believes this, then like it's going to be fine. Let's keep on pushing. And then the energy didn't slump because of they were afraid. So I think I'm good at, motivating the team, showing them whatever happens, it's going to be good. And, building relationships, coming up with ideas for marketing and then helping them with the processes. I think that's my main role. So when the team have, an idea for a good, process revamp, then I also dive in and say, okay, we can resolve this with software. Okay, let's get in a meeting with the dev team and let's, so I'm kind of almost like the delegator because between the PR management and the software team, because I'm a software developer, so I can understand the problems of the PR team and then we can translate it into a solution with software.
So we are right now sitting in UK, specifically in Whitney. Are we in Whitney right now?
Yes,
geographically.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many of your employees are here?
Probably 20 of us, right? I think we have probably 20 in office. Most
of your other employees are from the UK as well?
Yes, yep. The PR team is 99% from, 95% probably from the UK, yes.
So what impresses me and surprises me is that Whitney is a pretty small, what is it called, town?
Yeah.
It's a town. What's the population?
I think about 50,000, something like that, 30, 50,000.
50,000. And you managed to hire 20 great people from such a small town. While everyone always says that finding and hiring great talent, even globally, is so freaking hard.
Yeah.
So tell me what's happening. Either Whitney is some kind of cauldron of great people in marketing and digital PR and whatever roles you need here, or you have, I don't know, great training materials or great early members of the team who are managing to bring other people to their level. So how does it happen that in such a small town, you hire 20 people and you're so successful with these people?
Yeah, I think it was probably maybe luck, but also, as you said, we did put a training system in place. So it wasn't always like this. So these 20 people are not like, oh, we just hired 21 people and then one of them was bad and then we had 20 people. In 2021, we had, and it wasn't the people who it wasn't their fault. It was our fault back then. And I take full responsibility. So we hired lots of people. We were growing super fast. We hired lots of people. And then it started becoming very toxic, like really, like it started becoming like really bad. People were like, bullying each other and talking, bad things about each other behind their backs. We had to, let go of probably over 10, like 15 people at once, like in 3-4 months, because it was becoming like really, really bad. People were crying, but the problem was not. The problem was with us, not with them. They came into an environment that didn't have any structure. First of all, we allowed them to come into an environment when they were not the right one for the job. And it wasn't their fault. They wanted a job. It was our fault for not assessing them well. So every culture is being built by hiring the right people into that culture. We didn't have any system for hiring back then. Well, I started posting more frequently on LinkedIn and, people started, recognizing us in the industry. We started getting some good traction with some results, and we started having lots of inquiries. Now, what do? Let's put a job on Indeed and hire everyone who comes and has a pulse. So we hired everyone, and we even found out like some people had like their mom completing their test. We only had one test. They had to just write a press release. That's it. And one of the people's mom actually wrote the press release, and then, okay, yeah, it looks good. We liked you, had the interview, and then can you start tomorrow? That was a hiring process. It was like a 2 hours process for everyone. We messed it up. So these 20 people are the result of lots of messing up in the past and learning. Now, when we hire, we do like really, really, really like stringent assessment. Like we don't just let anyone. It's so hard to come and work for us now. It's really difficult because we don't just hire anyone. We hire only the best of the best. So what we do is we put a job on Indeed, and mostly it's like, especially now it's a remote job. So now we have like 1,000 applicants for every job. Wow. And then we say, write something about our company. And then half of them don't write anything about our company in the cover letter. And then that's 500 people eliminated. And then we start doing more questions. There's like an assessment of writing. Again, the other, 60% fall off there. And then there's another test. And then there's a Zoom interview. And then we make a decision. So we messed it up. So I think we just played the volume game with these 20 people. When we hired, we really learned from every past mistake. And we might still make mistakes. We probably still make lots of mistakes, but we keep on learning and learning. So we hired the right people. And then, of course, when the right people are hired, then we said we need a training system as well, because we cannot just say, hey, you've not completed your campaigns when we didn't help them with a good training. You cannot just throw people in the sea and say, swim. You got to give them the knowledge to swim first of all. So that's what we are working now. We are revamping. We're going to launch the second version of the training system, which is going to be even better. So we keep on giving people the fertile soil. So hire the right people and give them the right tools, the right soil to flourish. And of course, I think you mentioned already, and I mentioned it to you a lot of time, we give them good software. So we don't just say, just use a spreadsheet. We say, what is your problem? Oh, this is my problem. Okay, let's call the dev team and let's solve it. So we give them right training, the right software, and then we hire the right people. And that's how we try to grow locally as well, but also remotely.
You're still actively hiring as of right now?
I think now, so what we do now, and I've not talked about this publicly, we are now extending the team into Romania. So I've got a Romanian company as well. And we want to extend the team there as well because we want to set up an international PR department as well. First of all, we'll have a few people there who will learn the English, kind of what we do here. So we'll replicate a few people there. And then we start setting up, French departments and Italian departments and Spanish departments. We actually had I think 1,200 applicants there as well for that job. So now we are using a 5-steps assessment software. It's called Test Gorilla. So maybe anyone can, use it. Test Gorilla. It's really good. And then we assess people through that. And out of 1,000 people, we only had 15 people who actually passed the test. And then we already hired one person there. And then I think we'll probably hire 2 or 3 more. And then that's going to be the base of that company. And from there, we'll start growing. So yeah, we are still hiring, but now we started extending the EU, European Union team as well.
And so you're basically changing the structure of the company, so to say.
Yes.
You're branching out.
Yes.
But what is the current structure or what has it been up until this point? With 90 people, what's the hierarchy? What's the team structure? How does it look like? How many direct reports do you have?
About out of the 90 people, we have about, I think 8 or 8.5 software developers. So we have 2 people now on the video team. And then we have largest part is PR executives. And then PR executives have team leads. The team leads have managers. And then there's the PR and client directors on the top. And then we have Michelle alongside them, the head of operations. Michelle reports to me. And then we have the 2 PR directors report to me. And the dev team reports to me. So I have I think 4 or 5 direct reports. And that's it. Mm-hmm. If I want to talk to somebody about a campaign, I'm not going, especially now. I used to do it in the past, but I'm not going to the executive and say, hey, why have you done this, or can you do this? I'm going to my direct report and say, hey, that person, can we follow up with that person because they have done? Because I don't want to undermine the managers and diminish their status and their power by going directly to the team member. And we came up with this and I realized I was doing it wrong because I was going, if something didn't go well, I was going directly to the person, say, oh, can we, correct this, or can we do this? Or even if I just asking a favor, can you do this? And then I kind of almost undermined the task that was given by the manager because, if the CEO goes to a team member, and they will likely just leave out what the manager said, the manager's tasks, and then they will do what the CEO says. But it shouldn't be like that. So if I want to give a task to somebody now, and I'll have to force myself even more to get into this mindset, give the task to my direct report, and then it's going to chain down as reasonable and as whenever they can do it to the person.
What is your role at the company as of today? What are your responsibilities? Because according to my observation, you are very hands-on with a lot of things. Yeah. So, for example, when I reached out to you about hiring you to do some digital PR links for us, you were directly kind of selling to me. You were on the call with me, not one of your managers. Then as I came here and we wanted to record a video, you were basically kind of directing everything. You were coming up with the text for the song. You were recording it. You were coming up with the idea for the video. So you were very hands-on with those things. So what are your responsibilities at the company?
I have 2 main responsibilities. One is marketing and the other one is system building, which means sometimes in order to build the systems, I do have to involve into even campaign management. So even in the past 3 weeks, I took on a few clients as my own clients internally, so that I can see the problems that we have. Most of the clients are asking us, oh, hey, what's the status of our campaigns? They should not be asking because they should have a system where they can see everything instantly. So and the team has been begging me to do this for many, many months, but I didn't realize how grave that is until I actually had the client oh my God, I have 5-6 clients asking me in one day, what's the status? And it's easy. We are now in the outreach phase, and if it was in a nice system where they can see it, then then they would not have even the question, because they would, okay, I can see, just like an Amazon parcel. So marketing and system building is my main role. And that's why I'm involved into the lyrics, because it's part of marketing. Sometimes I'm involved in communicating to clients because it's part of, only when I build the systems, that's where I'm getting involved to see the problems. So these two are my main roles.
Let's talk a little bit about part of the marketing that you do, and that is shooting those funny, silly videos, which I participated in one yesterday.
That'll be a good one.
I wonder, how are you so passionate about it? Is this just something you like doing and this is why you do it? Or do you see an outsized ROI from it? And you also told me that you want to productize this service. You want to do those videos not just for yourself, but for your clients. But again, if you want to sell it for a client, they would ask you, why do I need this kind of video? So tell me more about those like funny videos that you have been producing for a few years.
Yeah,
right now,
many
right?
years. Yeah, I think since 2022 we started going like really, really crazy with it. 2.5 years probably. Yeah, I would do this even if I would not getting paid. So it's my real passion. It's a form of art that I totally enjoy. Just expressing yourself through humor. It's the best way to live, and then creating entertainment for others. It's so good. So it's my true passion, like creating content that entertains others and helps others feel better. You know, like you're a DJ. How good do you
ex-DJ.
Ex-DJ, of course, yes. You're ex-DJ. So how good does it feel when you put on a music and you see people enjoying it? It's the same kind of hormones that are getting triggered with this type of content and creating this type of content. I get satisfaction when I see that I have an imagination, an idea, and I make it happen. Very complex. It's a very complex process, very hard work, make it happen. And then it makes people feel good. Just like being a DJ, it's the ultimate satisfaction. And I would do this without, even if I did not get paid for it. So that's why I'm like, it's my passion. That's why I'm getting involved into the lyrics and everything else.
So speaking of kind of the satisfaction and the ROI, there's definitely no way to say how many clients a certain video brought you.
Yeah.
There's no way to measure it. But like you said, a lot of people do kind of self-attribution. They're saying, oh, we see you everywhere, or do you compliments. I've seen your video with like the Bloomberg thing. It was hilarious. I loved it. So I wonder how many of those compliments you get for your videos and where are they coming from? Do people come up to you at conferences and say your video are hilarious? Do they mention it on the sales calls?
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, most satisfying thing, especially the most satisfying is at the conferences where people walk up to you and say, man, I love your content. I admire you. Like, so it hits you in the soul. It hits you in the soul. And they say, oh, where's your wigs, Fery? Did you bring your wigs to the conference? And so, it's so satisfying. But also when they come in a meeting, I can see people smiling. And you're like, oh, Fery, it's so good to see you like face to in the call. Because I've seen your videos for like a year now and they're like hilarious, man. But it's so good to talk to you. And like, oh my God, it's so satisfying when people come to you and like with that love. Because it's already like a love that has been built up. It's the best feeling ever.
Speaking of the wigs, you seem to have virtually no limits in terms of putting yourself in all sorts of like awkward and silly situations to make video like funny and hilarious and to evoke some emotion in people watching it. You just like whatever silly thing can make people laugh and like feel good, you will do it. But it's so not common, especially in business world. Do you not think that by putting yourself in like silly positions, how you were like caressing the microphone with your face yesterday, people will see it on the video. You need that. You want them to sell your products to big
like
clients,
high-end products,
yeah,
to like
enterprise
Asana.
customers, and you have a team of 90 people that should take you seriously. How do you feel about that kind of is the right word, dichotomy, where on one hand you act silly and you're fun and you're outgoing, and on the other hand you need to be like a business person, you have to be serious, reliable, you need to be strict at times, because when you manage a lot of people. So how do those two people live in one Fery?
Yeah. Good question. So I think that silly Fery is not really just a character there, because sometimes I can be, funny even in office, but not like a silly funny. I can say something and people think like, "Oh shit!" And so it's kind of part of my character. I like to make fun of things sometimes, or like present things in a funny way. But also when it comes to strictness, like we also have to be strict on the other side. So it's, as you said, if some people don't hit the KPIs for. Let's say we have a limit of 3 months, but we always give them more. If they don't hit the KPIs, I'm always like sending screenshots to the management. It's like, something's not right here. This person has been under delivering for like eight months now, and they know. Oh, we know we are on the case. Okay, so okay, like we also have to be strict, because eventually it's a business, and we can only do these funny videos, and we can only do what we do if people deliver. So I mean, we have to be strict, and I am strict, and probably more strict than I should be, because the team sometimes holds me back. Look, let's give that person 2 more months, because I think they had some problems, and I think they will level up. And many times they're like, we had cases where the person has not been delivering for like 5 or 6 months, and the management said, "Oh, let's not pull the plug." I said, okay. And then the person is now one of a very good PR executive. So thank God we didn't let the person go. But I'm probably, when it comes to strictness, I'm probably more strict than people would probably think. I look at numbers. I mean, I've got the pressure of like taking the business forward, and we don't have big cash reserves to afford complacency. So when it comes to that, like on the one side, I'm outgoing and like, funny or whatever. But when it comes to being serious, like I have to be serious as well.
A question to your team. Is it true that you guys have 4-day work week? It's true. It's still unbelievable to me. 4-day work. You announced it 2 years ago.
Yes, in May 2022.
By the way, we are recording on Sunday. And
yes.
We were working on Saturday before this.
Is it asking on Sunday of the team? Is it true you have a 4-day work week? That's very
something doesn't add up. Yeah. Do you get days off on Monday and Tuesday then?
They get days off whenever they want to. They can switch, right? You can switch whenever. But they were kind enough, and they were kind enough to say, "Hey, Fery, we are good. If we have to do a weekend work," and even Ant said this to me very many times. I appreciate some guests will come in the weekend, and I'm happy to do weekend work. And like, oh wow, okay, thank you. I'm not gonna say no, because I've been setting these up, and I know with some other guests, like it took me like half a day to set them up, and they offered, and it's very kind of you.
My question about the 4-day work week, especially switching to it 2 years ago when you already had, 40 people or whatever.
Yeah.
At that time.
Something like that.
This is like, isn't this 1/5 of productivity and output just gone? Because you had, a few dozen or maybe 100 existing clients. You have your employees that are doing X output in a week, and they were just, let's remove one work day from this week. And you still have those clients, you still have responsibilities, you still have campaigns. How did it happen? Look, I struggle to wrap my head around the 4-day work week.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. So the 4-day work week is very interesting, and it will probably not work in many industries, but it works in many ways, because first of all, talent retention is like unimaginable, because we really give people not just like, oh, work-life balance, blah, blah. We really give people Fridays off every Friday. They can be off 3 days. If they would go to any other job and they would get even more pay, but they would probably not get more pay. But even if they would give them more pay and they say but you have to work on Fridays, they will not accept it. Like, why would you accept a job that almost like pays the same, or maybe so many times even less, and you have to work on Fridays, when for many years you've been working Monday to Thursday and get the same pay? Like, one day extra free in a week, it's a lot. It's so good. I think it can be so good. So it's a very powerful way to retain talent and to have a happy team. I think we have a happy team, right? I think as far as we know, and even the reviews on Glassdoor, like, people are generally happy. Yeah, we have pressure, and sometimes we have problems, and sometimes, but I think generally our team is the happiest they can be at an agency.
And still, was there a loss of productivity and output when you switched to 4 days?
Now, this is another thing that we didn't measure. I'm not sure whether we can measure.
But it could be, you could feel it by campaigns or deadlines just taking longer. Because previously, if you could complete something in 3 weeks or 5 days a week, now 3 days of it is gone. So it takes you 4 weeks. So did you notice anything like that? Or because people, I know, rest more, they're also more productive at work?
The reason why we cannot actually compare anything, and probably the answer is, yeah, probably the productivity increase. The 4-day work week was just part of our initiative to revamp the company internally. So we had a person who left the company. She was earning probably 60% of the links were earned by one person at the company. And she left because she was like stressed. And she didn't even go in a digital PR role. She's not doing digital PR ever since she's now writing content because it was too much pressure. I said, we lost this person. We are dead now. So what are we going to do? I said, and the team said, and everyone, like, we sat down, said, we have to revamp everything. We'll have to find ways to make the team happy, less stressed. I don't think it would be correct to say, oh, not stressed, because there is stress. It's a fast-paced, like, in the 4 days, we are going through fire and through hell sometimes. But have the team less stressed? What do we do? Okay, let's start building our own software. Let's start doing the 4-day work week. Let's put together the training system. And everything was done in like the span of like 3-4 months. Not the software, because the software is a continuous development, but the training system, we put it together, and we stopped having 5-day work week. So everything added together, we had a massive boost in productivity. And it probably helped. Helped a lot, but it also helped, having people happier and having retention. Very rarely we have people leaving the company. But before, especially with the toxic environment and people bullying each other, we had lots of people leaving, and like, oh, this is like no job security. Like, it wasn't job security because we didn't have a training system, so they could not be good at their job, and because they were not good at their job, they had to be fired. So of course it wasn't job security then, not just because of them, but also because of the lack of our systems and processes. So we said we need to completely revolutionize everything, and the 4-day work week was part of this. And yes, our productivity went up, and we had consistent people consistently being able to deliver on campaigns. But it was part of the whole. It's like you started building links, doing technical SEO, and creating good content on the website, and doing YouTube channels as well. Did the links help the website go up? It probably did, but if you would have just done just the links, you would probably not have the website going up. You also had to do the other things. So I think that's the analogy that we can use in this case. 4-day work week combined with software building, with revamping the training system, everything, it all made the company go up, yes.
Last question I have for you in this interview is, I want to quote something you said and ask you to expand on it. You said that the future of SEO is social media and brand building. What made you say it? And what do you mean by it?
First of all, the common sense kind of wanted me to be like this for many years now, because it was too easy to manipulate Google before. It was so freaking easy to manipulate Google. And it was good. Like, oh, I enjoyed it. But like, this is not like a fair system. after ACU and after all the latest Google updates, it's more obvious that having fake AI profiles on your website, churning out content en masse, will not work anymore, which is good. It should not work. I mean, it worked and everyone, including me, enjoyed it. Great, okay. But it should not be like that. And after the ACU, we see lots of websites being obliterated. But the only sites that I've seen that's going up are the websites who have a brand built around them. This week I had a meeting with a client, and that's I think the second or third meeting that I had with somebody who had a very strong YouTube channel and a very strong brand, and said, we have an affiliate website. And when he said we have an affiliate website, the discussion in the Zoom call starts with, and the ACU obliterated us. And the guy didn't mention ACU or nothing. And we want to keep on, building our momentum with links. I'm like, what do you mean momentum? Did you just launch the website? No, we had it for quite a while. And I'm like, let me put it in Ahrefs. I actually put it in Ahrefs. And the orange chart was like going up, like, what have you done here? Like, oh no, we've done like nothing. We just have a very strong YouTube channel. We have like 300,000 subscribers, and we are unbiased with our reviews, and we have like genuine quality reviews of our products without, without having any bias. Like, that's crazy. That's the second one. The other one was a casino, I think a betting or like a slots client, something like that. And they also had like a massive YouTube channel with lots of engagements, lots of followers, and a brand around the website. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because SEO becomes not as easy as it was before, but that's how it should be, I think. It should be, hey, put in the effort instead of just churning out having the AI profiles. Looking back now, I think it was so unfair because you just had fake AI profiles pretending to be somebody and just churning out content and ranking. Like, kudos to everyone who smashed it, because that was a system that was available, right? So, but I think it shouldn't be like that.
Fery, thanks a lot for the conversation. This has been great. Let me
Tim,
shake your
great.
hand.
It was amazing to have you. Nice one.
Thanks a lot for sticking till the very end of this episode. I guess that means you enjoyed it, right? Because if you did, I have to ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, or maybe click the follow button if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify. Not sure if you know this, but subscriptions and follows are the strongest signal for these platforms to show this piece of content to more people. So I would really appreciate it if you would follow and subscribe. Thanks in advance, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.